I'm going to hand this over to Mrs. Klasnic, and the floor is yours.
Oh, great. Thank you, Shelley. I'm so excited to be here today. Thank you. I am a kindergarten teacher here at PA Virtual, and I'm so excited to be here and to see all these wonderful faces. It's been a great summer. Everyone, give me a thumbs up if you're having a great summer. Yes, so many fun things to do. Awesome. So happy for you. So my name's Mrs. Klasnic, but like my classmates know, my students, I am Mrs. K. So if you have a question, you can raise your hand. Myself or Shelley is going to help me with looking at the chat and seeing some of your hands up, okay? So I'm going to go really slow. So try to leave all your questions until when I'm done explaining it. So the first thing is, we are here today to talk about how to make sponge bombs, but I like to call them sponge balls because look, it's like a ball. You're making a ball and like it's going to be a fun water toy. And that's what we need in these hot, hot days of summer. So my first thing is your materials. So our materials are awesome. We need sponges. And guess what? Can you believe that sponges can be hard to find that do not have a scrubby bottom? I know. They can. I happen to go many stores. I found some at the Dollar General, okay? And they were $2 for 4 sponges, just in case you don't have them yet and you want to go out and do some extras. But at Dollar General, $2 for 4 sponges. Okay, I do have to tell you, they do make your hands feel a little bit funny, but we can wash them later. So that's all good. We need our sponges. Okay, in the instructions, it said hair ties, but you can also use rubber bands. Okay, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be needing to cut the sponges. So we have the strips. So if you don't have a nice safety scissors, please ask your adult to help you cutting. And remember, boys and girls, when you're cutting, make sure your fingers are away from your cutting tool, right? Okay, we always have to be very, very careful. Okay.
Mrs. K.
Yes.
So what if someone could only find big sponges? How could they still do this activity? What could we do to modify it so that they could be okay? Or do you want to talk about that later?
No, I think that's a great idea. So everyone, Mrs. K had her ruler. I'm going to grab it right now. So if you happen to have a ruler and say you have a big sponge, say it's as big as both of these sponges, you can just measure it and cut it into pieces. Okay, you definitely want a piece probably 1 inch thick, and it has to be at least, here we'll put my ruler up here so you can see it. Sponge is here, the ruler is here. You can see that it is almost 5 inches long. So it definitely has to be 5 to 6 inches long in your strips and only about 1 inch thick. Okay, so if you can only find a big sponge or maybe a different sizes, you can just cut them into different pieces. And you can use your ruler or you can just kind of guess. Okay, so we don't have to be perfect, and that's the best thing about doing a craft on your own. You follow the instructions. I talked to you about the materials, but guess what? Make it your own. So before we start with Mrs. K, I want to show us a couple things. I have some screens of different. I'm going to show you right here. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you, and that will give you, oh, there we go. Please be patient. Mrs. K has not shared a screen since I left my last day of school. Sharing my screen. Okay, so this is a video of sponges that have, we're going to be measuring them. Okay.
There we go. Now we can see your video.
You can see it now? Okay, so let me go back. Do you measure them? Being very careful, cutting. Sort your sponges, and here, look, they are using tie. They're using string because they don't have the hair ties, and that's okay. So we are going to be creative. The next one, I have another one. Here it is. Move this down there. This sponge has the hard abrasive on one side. This an adult has to help you, students. You're going to slice off that abrasive edge. Okay? And they are smaller sponges, but they will still work. Okay, Mrs. K is going to stop here, and guess what? Let's get started making our sponges. I'm going to stop sharing. And hi, you're back with Mrs. K. Okay, are you ready, everyone? Okay, let's get our sponges. If you want, you can draw a line down so you can cut them on that line. Are we ready? Okay, let's cut some sponges. Mrs. K is going to cut her blue sponge, being very careful where I put my fingers. One piece. I'm cutting this into 3 pieces. Okay. So my blue sponge, I have 3 pieces. The next one, I'm going to cut 3 sponges. Let's use yellow. And boys and girls, if you do not have your supplies right now, that's okay. You can get them the next time you run out to the store. So I just cut a blue sponge, a yellow sponge, and an orange sponge. Okay. I'm going to give everyone just a few seconds. And then I'm going to show you my desk area right here. Okay. Are we ready? Okay. I'm going to leave this my working area. Move everything out. Okay, what I can do is I'm going to lay my pieces of my sponge, and I'm going to alternate colors. Boys and girls, do you see how I'm alternating colors? I have yellow and orange. Now I'm going to place a blue. Do you see how they're not laying on top of each other? Okay. Next, I'm going to throw in a purple. Let's just do. I'm going to do another yellow. How about let's make a pattern? We all know what a pattern is. Okay, a yellow, another orange, and a blue. Okay, are you ready? Okay, next, Mrs. K is going to get her hair tie. Wrap my hair tie around. That was 2 times, boys and girls. I'm going to make it 1 more time. Okay, there. It's a little bit tight, but I want to make it tight. Okay, here I go. So once I put my hair tie on, I'm gonna just pull my sponges. Oh, look what I just did. I ripped a sponge. Uh-oh. That's okay, right? That's okay. I just made a mistake, but that is okay. See, things happen. I'm gonna toss it to the side. Here I go. Okay, so Mrs. K made this sponge with you. Okay, if you have any questions, oh, I see. Shelby, great sponge. Emma, I see yours. Is it Alea? Is that your name? Great job, yellow and blue. There's Kyla's. You have blue and yellow like Mrs. K.
Mrs. K, can you repeat how many pieces of sponge we want to put together?
Yes, it says 9 in the instructions you had emailed to you, but Mrs. K used 4, 3, 6. No, I used 8. I did not use 9.
So okay, so 4 sponges, but 8 little pieces.
I would say 8 little pieces, 3 sponges.
Okay, all right.
So 3 sponges. So your strips, you should have the smallest amount of strips you use together are 4. So let's count them. Great question, Shelly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Uh-oh, Mrs. K needs one more. Let me cut this one up. 8. So boys and girls, look how I stack these. I didn't even put them in any order. This is another way to do it. Look how we stack them. Okay, let me flip these over. So look, there's just a stack. Another thing you can do is next, you can just pinch the middle. This is a different way to make your sponge ball. You stack them up. Whoop. Oh, look, they're crazy sponges. I stack them up together. And remember, everyone, you make this do-it-yourself craft your own. I have my rubber band. I went around twice. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move all of my sponges different ways so they are not in a line anymore. I have another sponge ball. This was my first, my second, and my third. Okay, a very easy thing to do. Now, everybody, give me a thumbs up if you are good on how to make your sponge ball. Your sponge ball. Thank you, Molly. And I think it's Violet. Thank you. I got a thumbs up from you. From Aaliyah. Okay, Abby, you're giving me a thumbs down. Abby, do you have a question?
I think we have some friends who are still trying to put theirs together. So
Okay.
I think they just might need a little more time.
Okay, good. Definitely. Mrs. K is gonna just.
Oh, okay. Abby said her sponges are too big and she doesn't have the colors. Well, the colors are okay, Abby. You don't have to have the same colors. For your sponges, remember, you want to cut them that they're 1 inch wide and 5 inches long. So they're nice long strips.
Abby, may I see your sponge? Can you show it to me on your camera? Oh, I see. It's a long, okay, the first thing you can do, Abby, is you can cut it in half, okay? You can, that's a great sponge. It's nice and yellow, just like SpongeBob. Ah, okay. So you cut your sponge in half, Abby, and then you can cut it into 3 different strips on each side. Oh, I see Maya. Great sponge ball. Awesome. Okay, now everybody, guess what? So now that we have these, does that mean we get to go wash dishes or go scrub walls? No, we get to play. So I'm gonna ask my friend, Kyla, what do you think? What would you like to do with your sponge ball? What do you think? Can you put it in the chat, Kyla? Oh, play ball. Gotcha. Great idea. If you are having a hot day, get a big bucket of cold water, put your sponge ball in there, and you can throw it. Throw it to your friends or your family member. Another thing you can do is you can play hot potato with it. You can just sit around and you can just pretend like it's hot and you can toss it to everybody and see how wet you get. Or did anyone ever hear of monkey in the middle? No? Well, you have at least 3 people. And I would be one on one side. You would have another person on the other side, and you throw it back and forth to the person. And the person in the middle has to catch it. So they have to dart back and forth. Wonder who is going to get the wettest. I have some video of some friends playing with their sponge balls. Okay, Mrs. K is going to share it with you. Okay, are we ready? I'm going to share. And this is some, okay, so they made their sponge balls. What? Look how much fun they're having. Woo!
I think Mrs. K has it muted everybody, so.
It's muted?
Yeah, it was muted. Did you mean it to be muted?
No, I can hear it.
Okay. Well, we can still understand what they're doing. So even if we can't hear it, we can see it.
Okay, everybody, I'm going to stop sharing. That was just a little video doing a little example of how to use. You could freeze them also and use them for if you have hurt your leg, or if you have, like, say sometimes you fall and you have a sore, you get a boo-boo, you get a sore hand, knee, you can freeze your wet water bomb and you can put it in a plastic bag so you don't get wet, okay? And then put it on your sore leg or arm. Okay, so that is another great idea. Thank you, Stephen. Abby, great job. See, Abby, I knew you could do it. Awesome. Great job, Kobe. Now, Kobe, separate them so they're not all together, okay? So you want to, like, move all the pieces around. And the best thing about this is it doesn't hurt you if you hit it with your friend. It's fun.
I see Abby throwing her dry sponge ball around.
I know. Guess what, everyone? I have a little friend that's with me all the time. Let's see if you can see her. Her name is Phoenix Force. Let's see. Do you see her? She's sleeping in her bed right now. She is my doggie, my German Shepherd. I'm going to throw a sponge ball in her. Wonder what she'll say. You think she'll get up? Okay, ready? Phoenix? Uh-oh. I didn't get her. Look, I have two more. Phoenix. Oh, I surprised her. Phoenix. She's like, Mom, what you doing? Yes, so much fun. It's kind of sprinkling here where Mrs. K lives, or I would have went outside to play water balls with you. But this is such a great fun activity. It'll keep you cool in the summertime. Remember, if you don't have hair ties, you can use rubber bands, you can use string, and like Abby did, Abby had a big sponge, and look, she made the water. She cut them up, she tied them together, and she made her water bomb. Great job. I see Maya making another one.
I see some really good problem solving happening. Abby did a good job trying to find another way to make it work. That's really cool, everybody. Like, you want to problem solve and work your way through, and you can still do the activity. You're just going to do it a little bit differently.
I love it. Great. I know. You were so correct, Shelly. I love it. So I want to double check. Shelly, did you see any different questions in the chat?
No, I think we got most of the questions actually. So if anybody has any other questions, now's the time to ask them.
I'm going to go grab my other one. Oh, Phoenix went to the doorway. She's like, what are you doing?
Okay, I'm not seeing any questions. All right. Can we give Mrs. K a big round of applause?
Thank you. And don't forget, everyone, if you are scheduled for Monday, I'm going to make emoji bookmarks. So I love to read. I know one of my students in here, Kyla, she loves to read. So why not make a bookmark so you don't lose your spot in your book? So I will be here on Monday doing that. And I just popped in, I saw a question come in. It says, will they ever get broken? Well, remember when Mrs. K was making one of them? It was this one right here. I was pulling them and separating, and I pulled a little bit too hard and I broke this orange sponge, but guess what? It still works fine. Okay. So even if your sponges break, it's still okay because you have the rest of them, and you can either make more or problem solve. But remember, boys and girls, nothing's ever a big deal. Okay. We always have to stay happy. Okay. Never be sad. Okay. Mrs. K bought hers at the Dollar General. I looked at Walmart. I looked at the regular Dollar Tree and a dollar store. I looked at Ollie's Bargain Outlet, could not find sponges without the scrubbies. So that's why I showed you the video, how to remove the scrubby side. Okay, so if you only find the sponges with the scrubby, remove that scrubby side, because if you hit somebody in the face with the scrubby side, it's kind of scratchy. We don't want that. But these were at Dollar General, $2. Okay. Yay. And I just used hair ties for my daughter, and I had scissors. So I only really had to spend $2 to make one sponge ball. Okay. Whoa.
All right. All right. It looks like we're done with questions for our sponge balls, but hey, that was so cool. I did not have any sponges, so I couldn't do it, but I loved seeing everybody else's. So that was awesome. Thank you, Mrs. K, for doing that. And remember, everybody, send us pictures with your little sponge creations, and so we can share them on social media. And Mrs. K, thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. That was so cool.
Oh, you're welcome. I love being here. Thank you all so much, everyone.
And just a reminder, everybody, she'll be back next week for emoji bookmarks. But remember, a recording of this session will be available on YouTube within the next day or so. Okay, so if you want to go back and watch, you can. Don't forget to send in your passport. So when you send it in to us, we'll send out your prize. It might take a little while for the prize to get there, depending on where you live and the mail service. But just know that when you send it in, we're getting it. If you aren't sure, Sophia, you weren't sure if we got ours, you can always just email us and just say, hey, did you get mine? And we will gladly check for you, okay? Maya, the video, you're gonna go to our YouTube page, okay? Give me just a second here, Maya, and I'm gonna send you I'm gonna put the link in the chat. So that's our YouTube page. You'll go to the Camp at PA Virtual playlist, okay? And so just a reminder to everyone who's planning on coming tomorrow, we're going on a virtual field trip, kind of like a virtual safari, because we're going to the Elmwood Park Zoo. And Ms. Varelli, who did the foam crafts the other day, is going to show us the animals, the exhibits, and more. So tune in for that. It's going to be a really fun time. All right. Hopefully it doesn't rain. So for everyone else, I hope you had a ton of fun, and we'll see you at another session very soon. Have a good one, everybody.
Bye, everyone.